Hello, Megan. Hello, Michelle. Welcome to Sisters. There were never such devoted sisters. Woo! So for those of you who cannot see my face right now, this is Editing Megan here. We didn't record an introduction for this episode, so I am doing my best to wing it. But since I don't have a butler in my head, we're going to keep it short. Today, we are kickstarting a new series where we'll be diving into the book Better Late Than Never. It's by Emma Mahoney, and it's a compelling read about managing ADHD. So stay tuned over the next few weeks as we dissect each chapter and bring you key takeaways that anyone with ADHD, or those who know someone with ADHD, will find invaluable. But for today, Michelle is going to give us a preview of the 10 things to know about ADHD. So take it away, real Michelle.
I'm gonna tell you 10 things about ADHD, which is hilarious because we're saying you're the one who has ADHD, but I'm telling you what it is.
Okay. I'm ready.
Well, it's not really that. It's just 10 things to know. So this is from a book I'm currently reading. You know, I like to read a lot of books, and this is called Better Late Than Never by Emma Mahoney. So hi, Emma Mahoney. Thank you. And I haven't gone through the whole book yet. I just got at the beginning of it, but was diagnosed at 51 with ADHD. And this is sort of from the beginning of what I'm hearing, it's her sort of diary entries about how she learned her brain. I'm learning about my brain too, by the way, a lot. And I think I have many more ADHD tendencies than I realize. So I'm with you on this journey. Okay, so a couple of things, 10 things, not a couple. Did you know that ADHD originally was described as a minimal brain disorder? That was its first title.
Minimal brain
disorder.
Ugh.
Yes.
Gross.
Then it was titled hyperkinetic disorder.
Okay.
Kind of, okay, like you're kind of a hyper person or something, right? Just can't sit still.
Kinetic. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
2004, it was officially labeled ADD, attention deficit disorder, which would have been around the time you were diagnosed, right? Just maybe a couple years after.
Well, I was diagnosed in 97, so it makes sense why I say ADD. Like, that's my natural instinct to say ADD, and now everyone's like, it's ADHD. I'm like, where was I? Under a rock, apparently.
I don't think so. I think they kind of evolved over time. I do hear both.
I was under the ADD rock. It was like this giant rock. I was like, ADD.
I'm just visualizing what's going on in your head when you say that. But can you tell us what's going on in your head when you think that?
It's a giant boulder that is gray that has ADD like scribed on it. And it's like, I am just literally underneath it like, hey guys, this is where I am.
Now, is it on your like perfectly perched or are you feeling squished?
No, it's like on my head like a little rain cloud.
Oh. I love it. Gravity doesn't impact,
right,
but it's there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Second fact that she writes about is it is described as something to do with impulsivity, restlessness, and distractibility.
That's the fact?
Yeah, it's fact number 2.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like something that they
book.
decided. Okay, we've moved on. I'm sorry. We've moved on from...
Yeah, they titled
it
ADHD, and ADHD is a disorder of impulsivity, restlessness, and distractibility.
We just nailed everything about me in those 3 words.
We just need an entire podcast about impulsivity, probably.
Oh my gosh, seriously. Is fabulous anywhere in there?
Well, this is getting to
Okay,
this.
good. Okay, good.
Okay. Fact number 3 that she writes about is many successful entertainers, sports type people, sporticians.
Does it say sporticians?
No, but I just
Oh,
made
my God,
that
is that
up.
a
Isn't
word?
that
That's great. I love it.
Actors and artists have ADHD, and so she lists some that said they do, right? So Emma Watson, who is
Hermione
she?
in
Hermione, okay,
in Harry Potter.
Yeah, and then Magic Mike, Channing Tatum.
Oh,
I really wrote that one down quickly. I was like, oh, okay. Michael Phelps, the swimmer. And then I don't know who this is, but I thought cool. It was like Will I Am. And I was like, is that like a Dr. Seuss character? Who's Will I Am?
Oh, he's from the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, hi, Will I Am.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay. I was like, do I want it in a box? Will I Am in the box? You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I am in the fox.
I don't know. Oh, that was bad. That went bad. That went wrong quickly. Okay. And Gwen Stefani, singer.
I mean,
So I thought that was kind of,
fabulous.
I love her so much. So fabulous people. So I think that was speaking to fabulousness.
that's true. Thinking about Michael Phelps, for instance, being so able to hyper focus,
Right.
you'd have to in order to be at that high of an elite sport.
I would agree. And I think also having the ability to like just move your muscles so much,
That's true.
right?
That's a
Just
good point.
constantly be in motion.
Yeah, because I am constantly in motion.
You are. And as I've also learned that motion helps with calories. So you just keep doing it. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder, not a behavioral disorder. So it has, you're so goofy.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. So that whole thing you just did with your face and like a little clown cutiness, if you're watching us on YouTube, is not our parents' fault. That's what it's saying. It's not because of bad parenting anyway. However, it is inherited similar to height. 80% of people inherit it from either one parent or both.
Oh.
That is fact number 5.
So,
And now I really feel like I should have done a countdown like back in the day when David Letterman did the top 10 list.
oh yeah, number
That
5.
would have been better. Number 5. But anyway, yes.
We can make one
So,
later like that.
It's inherited.
So,
Yeah,
do you
from
think that might
80%
be
of people.
That might be why I was just so undeniable. Was that like because mom and dad both have it?
I think so.
Come on, like the whole.
Yeah.
I don't think we've told anybody about flap, but like
Yeah.
that comes from mom.
Yeah.
We need to tell people about flap because I feel like flap is like one of the greatest
Yes.
tools in your arsenal as an ADD person.
Okay. So yeah, talk about it.
So mom and I were at La Encantada in Tucson, Arizona. We were having some tea at their little AJ's court, and there's like a patio that's an inside patio. And mom and I are talking, and she's like, Meg, I love you so much, but like sometimes you just get really distracted. And the best thing you can do is, and she says, oh my gosh, there's a bird. While she's telling me that I get distracted easily. And like, were you there, Michelle?
No.
Yeah, I just was like, Mother, do you realize that you just went off on a tangent? Like you literally were like, oh, a bird. And her and I were laughing so hard because she's like, she recognized it. So, mom and I text each other all the time. So we would start texting each other like, oh, a bird. It turned into a bird. Oh, a bird, and because we don't want to write, look, oh, there's a bird. But that's kind of how it started. And then at some point, she didn't want to write, oh, a bird anymore. She just wrote flap. Which is brilliant because you're literally flapping to a different topic.
Yes. And it's great. She uses it all the time with me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I use it all that often.
No, because you usually stay pretty on track of things. You're on top of it.
I have different issues.
But it really helps me, like, because I know I'm about to flap into something else. And so I just say flap. And then it's sort of naming your frame. It's linguistically helping you guys know, hey, I'm about to change the subject. So this is the way I help to tell you so it doesn't jar you as quickly.
It's very helpful.
It helps.
It's very
Brian
helpful
and me
in
too.
general when things are going to go a different direction or something different is happening than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
That definitely helps me to stay on tune with you, to stay curious and not to just get frustrated or checked out. So I
thought you did a really good job, Michelle, today. Because like I threw you a curveball before we started all this. And I was like really impressed because I think in the past it might have been frustrating for you when I throw you a curveball and then, you get into whatever headspace you get into. But then this time you were like, okay, wait, let's just take a step back for a second, Megan. What's happening? Because we're not doing what I thought we were going to be doing. And why aren't we doing that? And I was like, oh yeah, right. I have to tell you, Michelle, I'm sorry. Everything just happened. And oh my God. My whole world fell apart just as soon as I walked into the office. And then I just called you. She's like, hey, how can I help you, Megan? I don't know, but I'm just freaking out. Everything's on fire. Ah!
It's so funny too, because it takes me a while when we're getting ready to do this to prepare for it.
Oh.
And so I don't know that you know that about my process is that I sit for like an hour or so trying to get things organized enough so that when we get here, no matter what direction you go, I can get us back on track. So I'm in this very, like, I meditate before I do this. I have to like slow myself down. And I have to also make sure I'm really listening, because it's so easy to just blow past something really amazing that you're sharing. And I've heard that when I listen back to our podcast, I see that sometimes, you know, I hear that sometimes I've jumped over to something that was like that was really important. So we'll probably come back to some of those, because what we're coming back to right now is number 6.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey,
Number
see
6.
how I did that?
You're so good. I'll let you go. I won't say anymore.
ADHD. No, I love it. ADHD affects 3 to 8% of the population. And that's regardless of gender or ethnicity, race, any of that. Boys are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed, but not 3 times more likely to have.
It's so awful. It's so annoying.
Yeah, but you know, my theory on that is that usually, at least from the kids in my class, the girls tend to not be behavior problems. Now, you, I think, were an exception, but but
I just was in my own little world. You know?
Yes, you were, sweet thing. Yes,
I
you
was.
were. Oh my goodness.
I was in Rosie land.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you experience this, but this on number 6 still is 90% of who have ADHD experience classroom behavior disruptions or problems. And they tend to have peer relationship problems, oftentimes have low academic attainment, meaning they're not as, strong academically, or at least they get the grades that would show that they, attained academic proficiencies. And oftentimes things like school suspensions happen. I don't remember you getting suspended.
I didn't have suspensions because I think that there was still a little bit of that fear of Catholic God in me. But I definitely was a disturbance, and I definitely didn't do well in school. I didn't have friends. I was definitely that oddball weirdo. Other than like the suspension, that all checks.
Then she says number 7 is when left untreated, it can develop into oppositional defiant disorder, which is a pretty serious thing where kids end up pushing against anybody in charge, right? Or anybody telling you what to do is like the automatic response is to be defiant and to push against.
I wonder if that's also why a lot of people, not necessarily going to that extreme of the defiance disorder, like I hear a lot of ADHD influencers or people who are influencers who find out they're ADHD and they're like, look, this is just who I am. You're going to have to get used to it. And they kind of are defiant in that way. And I'm just like, that's not healthy in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think that maybe as part of it, if like, there's like, well, this is who I am. And so deal.
Yeah. I mean, I think pushed against and told that who you are at the core is okay.
Yeah.
On some level, whether it's overt or sort of subtly throughout your life. I don't think it's even so subtle in your case. I do think you might have that kind of edge to your feelings about it and needing to process that. And then once you know what it is, I don't know if it's relieving or just, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something going on this whole time and it's not just me, I don't know. I can see it both ways, but I do think it's helpful to have some way of talking about it with the people in your life, at least.
Yeah.
That isn't just like, we'll deal, because any relationship, no matter what your thing is coming in, it should be hopefully something that you're working on together and helping each other to understand, staying curious with each other.
I would hope so.
I'd hope so. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is that anybody with ADHD has lower levels of brain chemical dopamine. Yeah, the brain chemical dopamine, which regulates attention, which we would guess. It also regulates movement. I didn't know it controlled movement somehow, so I need to read more about it. It's also linked to addiction. Like if you have lower dopamine levels, you're more likely to have addiction issues.
Interesting. Because isn't dopamine the thing that kind of gets you motivated to do stuff?
Yeah, it's sort of, people talk about it like with happiness a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's completely that, but yeah.
Interesting.
And ADHD does not affect intelligence, sorry to say, Megan Rose. You can still be a genius and have ADHD.
Oh, no. Can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. And this is interesting today. A UK study, number 9, they said is that about 20% of the prison population suffers from undiagnosed ADHD.
That's crazy.
When you think about that tying into like oppositional defiant disorder,
yeah,
right? Like I'm going to be like defiant against everything. It kind of makes sense, actually.
How crazy is it that 3 to 5% of the population have it, but 20% of the people in prisons have it? You know, that just shows statistically that there's something we're missing as a society.
Yeah, and they say it's like 3 to 8%, not even 5 or 8%. It just seems high. I mean, when you think about that's millions of people, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. And I'm sure many people who have some low underlying part of it, right? That isn't like full on, but
I think too, if you think about, let's just take the numbers game back in the olden days with the saber-toothed tigers. If you have 100 people in your community, you're going to need about a dozen, like or half a dozen or so of people to be able to stay up at night and take care of you at night. So it would make sense that you would need a good number of people who could do that.
Yeah. And who could run away quickly.
Yeah.
From the saber-toothed tiger.
Maybe that's why it's gotten more, because we were the ones who actually made it.
Oh. We saved all your asses.
Saved your asses. And we were first, so we never got eaten. Our DNA will thrive.
And number 10 is, unlike some other brain issues or differences, things like autism, that ADHD can be treated safely with medication, diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering for you, I know you've had to do various things around that. So I think a series around sort of lifestyle would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I would do that.
Awesome. All right. Well, guess what? That was our top 10 list of ADHD. Did you know? Fun facts. And next time we'll talk about something totally different because woo!
That was the top 10. What was it again, Michelle?
Top things to know about ADHD.
That was the top 10 things to know about ADHD. Hope you enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh. Crazy girl. Okay. Thank you for letting me do my nerd thing. Appreciate it.
I love your nerd thing, man. Nerd it up. Let's get nerdy.
What? Nerdy. All pruny in it.
Get all pruny in the nerd.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound right.
That sounded wrong. You always take it one step too far.
I do. I can't help it.
And scene.
One moment, please.
Okay, you need to get crazy and I need to get zen. So I'm going to let you like do your thing.
Do you want to see my new toy? My new fidget toy?
Yeah, I do. Oh my gosh. It's like a gummy bear.
It's a gummy bear.
Giant.
It's by
squeezy gummy bear. What's it called?
It's called Needo.
Needo.
Needoh.
Oh my gosh, you got to put that on our site.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Needo.
Okay, I like it. Okay. And then it won't rub your finger raw.
Yeah, I can just do this.
Do you have your other one that you need in case you need to switch? You should have like 3.
I know. I'm building up my arsenal. But I just the fact that I got my microphone figured out, I feel like it's a massive win. So
it's huge. It's huge.
Huge. Giant.
Huge people.
Huge.